In today's video, I'm going to explain timing and exactly how it works so that you know how to fix timing in your animations. So stay tuned. Hey guys, my name is Ion and welcome to my Start Animating YouTube channel. The channel that is specifically aimed at everyone that is new to animation, and if that is you, welcome, you are at the right place. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and also click on that little notification bell so that you can get notified every week when I upload a brand new video. Now, before I get started with today's video, I just want to remind you guys that my brand new online course, Begin Animation, the complete course for complete beginners, is now available on my website. So this course is for those who want to start animating, who has never animated before and they want to start. It will lay down the perfect foundation for you, and you will know everything you need to know to grow and start your journey from there on. It's also a course for those who have been animated for a while, but they didn't go to a university or like a place where you go and study animation. You've just learned from YouTube and videos, etc. This course is also perfect for you just to get that foundation, to get all the knowledge you need, to get that foundation laid so that you can grow from there. So that course is available on my website at the moment, and the first 50 people, there's already been some purchases, so the first 50 people will get 33% off on the normal price, and then once we reach that threshold, the course will go back to its normal price. So make sure you don't miss out. Go and check it out. It will really help you if you are new to animation or you're deciding to start out in animation. So in the description box below there's a link. Just go click there and sign up. Now today I'm going to look at timing. Now timing is extremely important when it comes to animation, because it doesn't matter how beautiful your artwork is. If the timing is off, it's not going to work. It's almost a comedian will tell you the exact same thing. You can have the best joke, but if your timing is wrong, no one will find it funny. And it's almost the same with animation. You can have the best animation, the best story, the best artwork, but if the timing is wrong, everything falls flat and it won't work. So that is why it's very important to get your timing right, and that is why timing is one of the 12 principles of animation as well. So it is really important. But the question is, how does timing work? Because if you don't know how timing works, guess what? You won't be able to get your timing right when it comes to your animations. So let me quickly explain to you. The first thing is, before we go to Cartoon Animator, the first thing that you'll need to realize is how videos work. Okay, so videos works with frame rates. So for example, if you have a camera, you can see there's different settings, the camera on your cell phone, or if you have a DSLR camera or a professional video camcorder, it doesn't matter. They all have settings, FPS, frames per second, and that means that is how many images it captures per second. So for example, if it says 60 frames per second, then that video will have 60 images per second, which it will play right next to each other to make up, that will create the illusion that the video is moving, everything is moving. That's the same with animation. You draw different images, and if you flip them or run them after each other very quickly, it will create the illusion that your character is moving. So frame rate is the amount of images or frames per second. So if, for example, if your camera says 60 frames per second, it takes 60 images per second. If it says 24, well, then it means 24 images per second. Now, broadcasting normally works on 24 frames per second. So when you export a video, you will normally export it to 24 frames per second, meaning there's 24 images per second. Okay, so that is very important to understand, because the same principle applies to animation. Okay, so let's quickly go to Cartoon Animator, and the first thing that before you can animate, the first thing that you'll need to figure out, and this doesn't matter what animation software you are using, this is the first thing that you'll need to figure out. So in my case, I just go to Edit, Project, Settings, and here I can see 30 frames of 1 second. Okay, that is my this means I am animating at 30 frames per second. So if I exit here, that means here in my timeline where all my keyframes are, you'll see if I go to 30, from 0 to 30, that is 1 second. Why? Because I am animating at 30 frames per second. So let's say, for example, I've got this ball, I've got him here, and if I go to frame 30 and I move him there, then it means if I press play, this ball, it will take him exactly 1 second to move from point A to point B. So if I press play, that will take exactly 1 second. Now let's say you want this ball to, you want it to take 3 seconds to move from point A to point B. So if you keep in mind your frame rate is 30 frames per second, you want it to take 3 seconds. So 3 times 30 is 90. Okay, so we go to frame 90, and let's just move this keyframe to 90. So now if I press play, it will take this ball 3 seconds to move from point A to point B, and there you go. So this is really important to understand your frames per second, and what is the settings that your animation software is on, so that you can then determine how many frames it should take for your object to move. So if you don't know what your animation software settings is set on when it comes to frame rates, it is kind of impossible to get your timing right, because you don't know if you want something to move 3 seconds. There's no way that you will be able to go to frame 90 and know frame 90 is 3 seconds. There's no way. So basically what you'll have to do is you will have to sit with a timer, and you'll have to press play and time it. If it's not right, make adjustments. That is going to take forever. It's going to waste so much time. So it is extremely important to understand what is the frame rates of your software and work accordingly. Okay, so now that you've got your frame rate sorted, you know it takes 30 frames per second. Now you can start working on your timing. So for example, let's say it takes half a second for a guy to punch. Okay, so you've got a character and he's punching. It takes half a second. You know you are animating at 30 frames per second. So if I want this hand to move half a second, it will mean 15 frames. And that is so, it is actually so simple. If you just know the frame rates of your software, in what frame rates you are animating in, then it is extremely easy for you to then go and figure out the timing. How long should things take? And one tip that I can give you is, if you can, take your cell phone and film reference videos. Okay, so because that will really help you not only with the movement of the character, but also with the timing. So now you can have you can sit with your phone in front of you with the video that you filmed, the reference video, and now you can just quickly time, okay, how long does it take for the actor to do this movement? And now you know. Now you can just calculate it and work it onto your animation, and you will always get your timing 100% correct. So guys, this is just a great way to understand how timing works and how to ensure that your timing is always correct. So always check what is your frame rates that you are working with, and then use that as your guidance to animate and get your timing right. So guys, that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you click on that like button. Also hit the subscribe and click on that notification bell. If you like this video, it really helps the YouTube algorithms. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments below. I'd love to hear your questions, and maybe I can answer them in future videos. So from me, Ian, I will see you guys with a new video next week. God bless and happy animating.